Ashley McBryde has been living the life of her dreams for several months now. She has amassed an impressive collection of awards, including her first Grammy, 3 new CMA nominations, 2 critically praised albums, and an invitation to the Grand Ole Opry. With a great deal of excitement and wonder, the 40-year-old artist tells people, "It's just pow-pow-pow." Although McBryde attributes her success to her unwavering determination and prodigious musical abilities, she also attributes it to something more karmic. Since she began taking significant efforts towards self-care, including the difficult decision to give up alcohol in June 2022, the positive things have obviously been building up. She claims that she discreetly and quietly stopped drinking, choosing to avoid making a public declaration. "I made the decision to keep it completely quiet for at least a year," she says. "I didn't need people on social media saying things like, 'Ashley McBryde swears off alcohol.' It irritates me that all people will do is wait for you to make a mistake. It was done for me. It wasn't for social media, I promise." McBryde, who is already a formidable presence on stage, has been giving incredible performances. Her stadium set at Nashville's CMA Fest in June demonstrated that she is more than prepared for bigger arenas. The woman remarks, "It's the best I've looked, felt, and the difference in my voice. Do you think you love your voice, if you had told me even 10 years ago? You should listen to it sober because, in my opinion, drinking and smoking go hand in hand." She claims that in July, she even found herself celebrating turning 40, a milestone that frequently inspires fear. She admits, "I was a little worried about it, but it feels like a nice rite of passage. This is where, in an animated movie, they would put the crown on my head, and I would merely say, 'Now that I'm me,' and I believe it is all related to the choices and adjustments I have been making, as well as realizing that this is who I am. I just met myself, and I'm halfway to 80 years old." Her most recent album, The Devil I Know, features a cover that showcases her meticulous approach. McBryde portrays a variety of facets of her personality in a multiple exposure photograph, including sultry, carefree, and unrestrained, as well as reflective, collected, and confident. She declares, "I am all of those characters. I've grown into a whole person. And I celebrate and adore that." Made for This, a furious hymn that describes her hand-to-mouth early years as a bar act, is McBryde's album opener. Composed in 2018, the year when Girl Goin' Nowhere, her debut album, was released, it now serves as evidence of the musician's unwavering drive. McBryde asserts, "You have to want it more than anything else. You have to feel as though you might die if you don't do it." McBryde's current chart-topping single, Light On in the Kitchen, gives her a chance to share the warmth of her wisdom, most of which was influenced by her mother. On tracks like Women Ain't Whiskey and The Devil I Know, she skillfully veers into a steely and irresolute mood. Before choosing to stick with The Devil I Know, McBryde recounts being surrounded by people who were trying to tug her in a variety of directions in the lyrics of the title track. Thus, she explains, "The devil I know is my own compass in a positive way. However, there is a darker aspect to that devil. Look at that guy," McBryde says, gesturing to a tattoo on her left forearm. This is a new inking on severely tattooed flesh that shows the scary eyes of a crimson Satan looking back at you through a rearview mirror. She claims, "I got this tattoo when I stopped drinking." According to McBryde, she made Blackout Betty to help her deal with the fallout from her binges. "I would be like, I'm ready to go home. All I need to do is find out where Betty put my keys." She also wrote a song specifically for Blackout Betty as a coping mechanism. McBryde acknowledges that she had a terrible hangover when she arrived at the writing session with regular collaborators Aaron Ratier and Nicolette Hayford. "How filthy is that?" Now, McBryde says, "That song isn't country. Merle Haggard is not pleased with you for doing that." While the self-loathing is evident, when McBryde sings the song these days, she discovers something else as well. She states, "There's a lot of self-compassion. As I sing it, I'm thinking, oh, kiddo." She gives a sympathetic TSK. In retrospect, McBryde can clearly see that she made a career decision centered around alcohol. She took in everything from the settings that promote alcohol consumption to the songs that glorify it. By the time Eric Church invited her to play on his stage in 2017, she had cemented her reputation with a breakthrough performance. He described her as a badass who drinks whiskey. She came to the conclusion that, perhaps, part of being the whiskey-drinking badass is understanding when to put something down or stop using it when the costs are too high. I wouldn't swap what I do and love for anything, and this had gotten too expensive. She claims that after asking for assistance, I got it. She quickly surrounded herself with a team for both therapy and treatment. Hard work got underway. I was like, I'm not abusing, she admits at first. And then you're like, oh, yeah, I was, after taking a little break from it. I most certainly was. She continues, saying, I'll still come across a scenario where I'll be like, oh, normally I would drink about this. The re-education is ongoing. Then I sit there thinking, well, you had a great show, or you had a great interview, or you had a great interaction, or whatever, and I let that emotion go. How could you possibly punish yourself for that? It takes some time to realize that this is the situation. It was literally a form of self-punishment for my good deeds. And the positive things improved once I quit doing that. She appears to be enjoying her freedom from inappropriate behavior almost as much as the recognition. After having a few drinks, I don't have to worry about something I might have said, she declares. I may leave now, you know what? I made my statement. That is one thing I can rely on, along with a ton of other things. She still lives in a world where alcohol is pervasive, though. Her new album has 11 tracks, 9 of which have at least passing references to alcohol. 5 of the songs even have references to it in the title. Naturally, the country genre doesn't see much of that frequency. However, a life without alcohol has also occasionally required choosing to forego the before and after parties at events, as well as learning how to create mocktails after years of serving as the go-to bartender. It has also required bearing with remarks like "I liked you better when you drank," which are incredibly careless. The witty McBryde is prepared with a swift retort, saying, "Dude, I f***ing liked you better when I drank." Although McBryde admits that she still enjoys a good buzz, she now gets her fix by exercising frequently. She started boxing at the recommendation of her therapist, and it's also providing her a new high. Just being alive is the greatest buzz of all, according to her. Having seen how short a music career can be, she is determined not to let up now that she thinks she has fully seized control. She claims that every show she does with her close-knit band is like the last one. I believe that's what adds a little something extra to our performance, she says. It's evident that we have a great deal of love and happiness across the stage. McBryde hopes to have a profession that lasts a lifetime, and she thinks she's well prepared for it after her recent adjustments. That is unquestionably a better reward than any award. Get the most recent edition of People, available now on newsstands, to read more from Ashley McBryde.